In the tradition of the Maggid, Zazu dreams, between the scarab and the dung beetle, a cautionary fable for the Anthropocene era, ignites social justice dialogue, ecological consciousness, and collective action. It is a tale of decolonization and environmental justice. The language of my family, the Sephardim, a hybrid of ancient... Throughout our narrative, you will hear Ladino, the language of my family, the Sephardim, a hybrid of ancient Spanish, Hebrew, Arabic, Turkish, Greek, and dozens of other languages, depending on where Jews fled when they were exiled during various expulsions. Ladino is the ultimate polyvocal hybrid language, a reflection of the diaspora, embracing difference.
A donde comen dos, comen y tres.
Where two people eat, three people also can. The city of Wazan was so colorful against the rolling Rift Mountains. We entered El Viejo Villa, known as La Mela, or Jewish Quarter, and saw walls of interlocking magical patterns, the Moorish tiles of infinity. In Zazu Dreams, we experienced love in that universal language. Like the Persian mosaics in Isfahan and the Ottoman tessellations in Istanbul, we were surrounded by ceilings and floors of intricate inlaid wood. Stucco houses were painted bright azure blue to ward off the evil eye. We learned these were very old Jewish and Moorish customs. We learned that, like other amulets, talismans, and fetishes, the Hamsa wards off the evil eye, offering good luck, healing, fertility, protection, positive energy, while deflecting destructive emotions like envy and hatred. The dominant Eurocentric Ashkenazim looked down on the widespread use of the amulet that was seen as a sign of Easternness. The Hamsa has since become a trendy symbol and is now heavily commercialized. Another example of the exoticized other. Exoticizing the other. The 5 fingers of the Hamsa are supposed to remind its wearer to use their 5 senses to experience and express gratitude to the spirit of the universe, to God. It is the symbol of an ability to live in multiple worlds, the physical and spiritual world of land and water, and the world of air, of flight. Whether Hamsa, Hand of Fatima, or Khumsa, as it is called in Hindi, the symbol remains a cross-cultural connection among many different peoples.
Cuando sale la luna, nadie come naranjas. When the moon departs, no one eats oranges. Montañas lloran por el aire. Mountains cry for air. Hablar quiero y no puedo. Mi corazón suspira. I want to speak. I can't. My heart sighs.
The scent of orange trees filled the air. My cousins, like thousands of other Jews and Muslims who live among indigenous North African Berbers, were preparing for Hilullah. Moroccan Jews from all over the world make pilgrimage each year during Lag BaOmer into the desert of Wazan to visit cemeteries and celebrate the lives of their beloved rabbis who are called Sadiqim. Every town in Morocco has its own Sadiq. Muslim Mahabou are like the Jewish Sadiq. Lag BaOmer, the bonfire night, is an opportunity to acknowledge one's strength. Like the Iroquois nation's commitment to 7 generations, following the biblical account of Joseph instructing Pharaoh to store grain in years of plenty. For years of drought that lay ahead, Rabbi Nachman tells us that we should do the same in our own spiritual journey. Near the tombs of their Sadiqim, known for miraculous powers after death, we met families living in big tents and sharing traditional food. They camp out under the stars for a week of meditation, prayer, studying the sacred Zohar, song and dance, and lighting bonfires for miracles for their rabbis. Strangers who enter the tents are welcomed and fed. The Talmud tells us the mitzvah of hospitality honors God and is as holy as Torah study. Hospitality teaches us compassion and empathy, both integral to ritualistic prayer. We prayed for healing, a sense of communal belonging, a reconciliation with the earth. We expressed our deep, deep gratitude for the spirit of the universe. Muslims do this too. We prayed to our revered Sadiq for an end to profit-driven biocide. We prayed for an end to the monoculture of the mind. Vandana Shiva decries, "You really need to have a brutal mind. It's a war against evolution to even think in profit-driven terms."
Lo que se aprende en la cuna, 100 años dura. What you learn in the cradle lasts 100 years.
We prayed for ecological intelligence to help us figure out how to encourage people to realize the deep connections between environmental justice and human rights, to act together to stop the suffering of people whose lands and water are poisoned and stolen. We prayed for a transition from a global extraction economy to a global regenerative economy. More and more I understood their chant, our chant. We were praying for Jews to remember who we all are as a diverse peoples, like the Ethiopian Falashas and crypto-Jews, whose Judaism is so often ignored, not to mention Sephardim, Mizrahim, and other Jews of color. I realized that a search for home was at the root of all of these prayers. Home, I now understood, was a lived and shared opening to global interconnectedness. We can stop these crimes against nature if we can understand the relationship between Bal Tashit and Tikkun Olam, between caring for people and caring for our environment, for what Nana and Papu call our social ecology, our sacred social ecology.
Amuéstrate como amigo en la hora mala. Like a friend, act like a friend in difficult times.
Suddenly, our whale spy hopped up and up and up. We were shifting from one quantum wormhole through another. Our aerial views of the Maghreb looked like mosaics that extended forever and ever. As we shot up higher, we saw hundreds of Moroccan carpets laid out across the old city of Marrakesh. As we left the Earth's atmosphere and its familiar magnetic field, our humpback was no longer able to navigate. We were grateful for the dried, odorless map, since we knew our voyage home through clouds of gas and stardust would be challenging. As in the beginning of our story, gas and dust are the origin of life, the origin of home. And remember, the stars insisted. J. Krishnamurti warned your human species. He said, "It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society." The heavenly constellations were singing to us in fragmented puns. This mausolot of planets, moons, and stars suddenly became the mosaics we had seen in temples throughout our travels. Mausolot are heavenly constellations that live among us. The Zohar and Midrash tell us there is no blade of grass that does not have a constellation, mausolot, over it, telling it to grow, encouraging it to grow. Because the Talmud continues to expand with infinite interpretations, it too is a constellation. We were on our way home with more questions than answers, puzzle pieces that I knew were somehow connected. But I wasn't sure how. I just knew we had to understand them in relation to each other if we were going to create social and environmental justice. I wondered, were the constellations shattered light looking for home.
Cuando una puerta cierra, 100 abren. When one door closes, 100 open.
In search of kinship and connection, exiles of the diaspora gather holy sparks hidden in every bend of the globe to restore what has been broken, to repair the world. We learn that this light already exists within us and is all around us, just waiting to be realized. This is our shared Tikkun Olam. Tikkun Olam is known as the shattering of vessels. In the 12th century, Maimonides expanded the original meaning of Tikkun Olam to include a realignment with the world. We all come into the world as a whole vessel. Over the course of our lives, we are shattered by the world. Our work during our lifetime, Zazu's journey, is to put the pieces back together, even more beautifully than our original vessel. When we recreate ourselves, we recreate the vessel. It is stronger in the broken places. Reflecting mosaics throughout the Middle East, this is home. The transformative intersectional work of social justice storytellers reflects the vision of Zazu, the Sephardic mystic protagonist.
I understood more and more that there is so much work to be done, that the only way to heal ethnic and racial divisions and the ecology of our global body is to see how we are all interconnected. We all have to take care of each other.